To get the project rolling along, I went ahead and slapped the purlins on. That makes it sound simple, but it was pretty involved. Took me a couple days of working the way I work. Probably could have gotten it all done in a day, but weather and obligations got in the way. So those went on. It's 1x4 poplar and then 1x6s at the peak and at the eaves there, just to give a little more reinforcement. And then here on the end of the building, you see this strap here. When I put the level on the post, the bubble was a little off. The building was leaning this way just a little bit. That could have been the posts kind of drying and warping. Could have been tension that was going into the framework as I was building it and pushing the 1x4s, because some of them were crowned pretty bad. So I was pushing those, so those could have been forcing in one direction or the other. Who knows? But it's just the way it was. But in pulling it all back into being square, I probably only had to pull this over an inch, maybe an inch and a half at most. I'm not sure, I didn't measure, but there's no way it could have gone over more than that for as little as it was off. So by pulling on this corner down to that corner, it pushes this one that way as well. So things are straight enough, so the strap will hold it while I get the work done. And the more connections that occur, the stiffer and stronger it's getting. And then in this whole area, there will be the building portion of it. So that will be a much more solid construction up top. And that'll all be held into being square. So once the wall portion of the building part, when I say the building, I'm talking about like over there, the loft that will be built over. The bottom will be empty like it is now. You can drive right through it. I'll be able to then do my braces like I have on that side. But right now, I can't really brace off this one. I need to be bracing off the poles up to something, and that's going to be the portion of the wall. So for now, the strap will kind of have to be what gives that support. Went through all the roofing metal. This is the best stack of 10 foot. This is sort of the second best stack of 10 foot. There's a little more right there that would go on this stack, and then some different pieces of 12 and 14s. Those I'm going to reserve for specific times I want full length. This is the stuff that's not so good. But there's sections of it that are perfectly good. So basically, starting at here, running up, I'll run 10-foot pieces, and then it's 12-foot. 12-foot pieces is what I need exactly. So I'll end up cutting about 2.5-foot pieces that will start at the ridge and go down and overlap this. So there'll be shorter pieces at the top, then it'll get finished off with the 10-foot pieces, and then a ridge cap over the top. I'm probably going to start on the road side of the building. So the best side of the building, the most visible side of the building will get the best metal. And then the side that faces, here, so the more of the work side of it, will have the second best. But in the end, it probably won't really be able to tell much of a difference. Here's where we are with things. Got the mill in the building, as you saw. So I think that's what I'm gonna call it for this video. This has been sort of one of the single biggest goals I've had, was to get to the point where I could get the mill out of the rain. Still need to put the ridge cap on and the metal on top of this part here. And then the other thing I'm probably gonna do now, if I haven't already mentioned this, was you already know I was gonna do a mirrored building like this on this end, so it would have the upstairs, and then this would be a drive-through here. But I think what I'm gonna do is come off another 12 feet, come up with 2 more posts. I'll have 2 bays, and then that upstairs will be 14 by 24. I think that would be a cooler, more usable, larger space on this side. Gives me an extra 2 bays, which I like for my tractor and a truck or a trailer or something. Just another spot that's easy just to kind of pull through. Yeah, so don't know for sure what I'm doing, but projects like this evolve. But in general, looking good. Very pleased to get the mill sitting under there. Starting to get the full sort of picture going on now of what it will look like. Sort of the rustic nature if I end up not painting it. You know, the siding will continue across, of course. They're going to be the nice windows. There'll be a flue pipe for the wood stove. There'll be wood stoves on both ends. May even be 2 wood stoves down here, one in the downstairs and then one in the upstairs. And then you have to imagine the lean-tos wrapping all the way around this thing pretty much. I'm not sure exactly where they won't go, but they're going to go everywhere they can. And then they're probably not going to go over the big opening on the other side, but I want to put something that extends the drip line out further from the sawmill to where when the rain is coming in at an angle, wind blowing, it's less likely to get wet. But the other thing that I may end up doing is doing some really, really lightweight like barn sliding doors, and the sliding door would just go out completely over this side of the building, and then it would run down the side of the building that way to where that can be closed if need be, and then there's going to probably be sliding doors on this opening as well, so you'll be able to shut the whole thing or open the whole thing. You know, of course, when you're in there milling, you would at least need one side open just to give a good ventilation. But this is a lot of airspace up under here, and it's so high that I think it's just going to be good circulation. You got to keep in mind I'm in a field, so there's always sort of a breeze for the most part. But yeah, there you go. So next video, I'll be putting on the metal here, and then the ridge cap, and then I want to go ahead and get all the siding on, and maybe see if I can just go ahead and close this upstairs in and get that into a functional area. I really need a space that I can go work on various things. Just when I need kind of an office space, and being in the house is too noisy. Having little kids, they're always there. And then I think I'll go ahead and utilize the sawmill where it is and cut up all the lumber to do all this at once, to where once I start in on this, I can just get the whole thing framed and pull the roof, you know, extend the roof out over that. I mean, put the roofing metal on it to where it doesn't do what happened to this side where it got rained on for so long. It's fine. It's just not optimal. It's just not what I wanted. But it's just the way it was. But it'd be nice to kind of have the mill in a spot where it doesn't have to be constantly covered and uncovered every time you use it.